Hello everyone, welcome to Bards and Books. I'm Usman, and today we are reviewing Discworld, books 1 and 2, The Color of Magic and the Light Fantastic by Sir Terry Pratchett. These books were hilarious, honestly. I started a year or so ago by reading Mort. That was my dive into Discworld, and I absolutely loved that book. I decided I wanted to read everything in Discworld, so I was going to start with the publication order. So I started with The Color of Magic now, and The Light Fantastic. Now, I don't understand the caution that everybody gives from starting with The Color of Magic. It's pretty unanimous. A lot of people say that. Don't start with The Color of Magic. You know, it's not his strongest work. He hasn't found his footing yet, and blah blah blah. But I don't see it. I don't get it. Why do people say that? This book was great. Like, I don't know. Maybe in terms of pacing, people can, say it's a little convoluted or something, but it just takes like 2 seconds. When you're off pace, it just takes like a few seconds and you can get right back on track, see where things are. It's not that difficult. I don't know, was it the humor? Is it the humor? If you have cautions about starting here, can you just let me know below like what exactly they are? Because I didn't find any flaws really with this book. But anyways, whatever. You know what? Maybe I'm one of those few people that can start here and actually really enjoy it. I don't know. Maybe this is my kind of humor. I get it's kind of like that British dry humor. Anyways, let's get into the book. So we follow Rincewind, who is this cowardly wizard, and we meet Two Flower, who is a tourist of the Discworld. And I gotta say, it was really cool following Two Flower because, he's a tourist, he's learning all about the Discworld, and so are we. It's the first book. So this was really well done. And I love that we got to visit basically the majority of the entire Discworld. We got to see different cities, different seas, the rim of the world because it is a disc. For a witty satirical series, this is pretty fleshed out in terms of world building and stuff like that. I really enjoyed visiting Ankh-Morpork. I hope I'm saying it right, but that city is just hilarious for some reason. Maybe it's the smell. Things got really interesting when we visited the rim of the world and we got to see the great Atuin. I should probably explain that. So Discworld is set on a world that's a disc, and that disc rests on 4 giant elephants who in turn stand on the back of a great giant sea turtle, or turtle, and his name is Atuin. So yes, it's absurd, but it's hilarious, just like everything in this book. So we have like, say, histories of the world, which, sound very absurd, but he makes them so funny. We have theories that like the wizards, I guess, are the scientists of this world, and they come up with theories for why things are the way they are. For example, why the world is a disc and why it's on 4 elephants that's in turn on top of a sea turtle or a turtle. But what's awesome is, as absurd and hilarious as these, theories and these concepts are in this world, Terry Pratchett does a masterful job of kind of making them seem plausible, like plausible theories, And he makes them, they're hilarious, but they also could be plausible. They could very well be the way things are. And he kind of makes them make sense, but at the same time, it's like, it's a joke. So Terry Pratchett is a master of satire. He is hilarious. I can very much see why he has all the accolades that he has. The guy received a knighthood, right, for his service to literature. And not only that, the prose in this book are very academic. Like, he's just a master of the English language. He uses all kinds of words that, he never runs out of words to use. and you will be running to the dictionary a few times, but despite that, these prose are very accessible. They're very easy to digest. Like, these pages just fly through. They're also kind of short books, like maybe less than 300 pages, but the pages just fly. They're so hilarious. So yeah, I don't want this to run too long of me just gushing on Discworld, but yeah, I loved it. Book 1, we got to really discover Discworld. We went all around with Rincewind and Two Flower. In book 2, The Light Fantastic, it was a little less laugh out loud funny for me, but what was cool is that it's more of a linear story. It's not kind of all over the place. It's very linear, and we meet a whole bunch of new characters, and they're all hilarious. and we kind of follow them through these like apocalyptic events, because the stakes are a lot higher in the light fantastic, and it really stays with you the whole time, like kind of end of the world vibes. And what's hilarious is we have like this end of the world cult that comes up and they're hilarious too. We meet druids in the light fantastic. Those druid scenes were something else. They're so funny. But yeah, the light fantastic was a little more serious in tone, just a tiny bit more serious in tone. But I gave that one 4 stars too. They're both 4 stars, both these books. Again, I don't understand the caution so many people put around starting with these books, but anyways. So that's it. I don't want to talk too much. Like I said, I don't want to gush too much about these books. If this is where it begins and I'm loving it this much, the rest of the series is going to fly by for me. Like, am I going to have 6-star reviews here for some of these books? Is that possible? I don't know. We'll see. But now I'm going to read one joke from each of these books that just had me in stitches, okay? So this is a bit of a spoiler here. If you don't want this spoiled for you, I'd probably tune out here, but I am reading one joke each. So I mentioned that Discworld is on the back of elephants that are in turn on the back of Atuin, the big giant turtle that's kind of floating through space. And this is a theory that some of the wizards have in that regard as to why he's floating through space and what that deal is. An alternative theory favored by those of the religious persuasion was that Atuin was crawling from the birthplace to the time of mating, as were all the stars in the sky, which were obviously also carried by giant turtles. When they arrived, they would briefly and passionately mate for the first and only time, and from that fiery union, new turtles would be born to carry a new pattern of worlds. This was known as the Big Bang Hypothesis. Talk about comedy gold. Okay, here's one from the light fantastic. So like I said, this is like apocalypse style, like everyone thinks the world is ending, and we got, people mobbing in the streets and destroying stuff and stealing things. So listen to this. Rincewind, all the shops have been smashed open. There was a whole bunch of people across the street helping themselves to musical instruments. Can you believe that? Yeah, said Rincewind. Looters, I expect. Looters. L-U-T-E-R, not L-O-O-T-E-R-S. L-U-T-E-R-S. I am speechless. Like, the man was a genius. I can't wait to read all the other books in Discworld. This is going to be awesome. But anyways, that's my review of book 1 and 2 in Discworld, The Color of Magic and The Light Fantastic. If you've read these, I'd like to know your opinions. If you had issues, if you're one of those people who wouldn't recommend starting here, let me know why. I'd really like to know the reason for why you don't think this is a good starting point. Just so I can have a different perspective and kind of see where people's heads are at. And anyways, yeah, those are my gushy reviews. 4 stars, both of these books. I loved them. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.
Hi everyone! Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our Usmani's page. See ya!
Bye!